Doug Orr is one of our candidates for Spokane County Sheriff, and I have not had the pleasure of hearing Doug speak. I'm looking forward to hearing what he has to say tonight. I've been out of town every time you've spoken around town the last 3 or 4 times, so really looking forward to hearing what you have to say. And Doug, welcome.
Thank you very much. Never more a timely call to action from Dave on liberty than now. We did have some victory this legislative session, namely the, for lack of a better word, the drone bill. It's the aerial surveillance bill that went to the governor to be signed this week. And if I was to, I can only speak very positively about it, and I've mentioned the word Matt Shea and ACLU in the same sentence. How could that be positive? But actually, Matt, and that's Matt's specialty, is to be able to build coalitions around issues. And on this particular issue, he did. He was able to bring Republicans, Democrats, you name it, together to provide more liberty for us. In that bill, you're going to have a very reasonable piece of legislation for law enforcement. It'll provide for a search warrant requirement, and also an audit trail, be able to show you what we collect, unlike the current situation where they just do it and ask forgiveness later. In fact, in this particular case with the NSA, they haven't asked forgiveness from us. So, but that's the good news. What I'd like to do tonight is to share just a little bit about me personally, and then I'll go ahead and give you the little stump speech, and then after that we'll take some questions. And because politicians are supposed to represent their people, and I'm just a student of politics, getting to know it, but when we ask these questions, to better represent you, tell me why you're asking the question, so I can better represent you. I'm going to give you my little speech, but you need to tell me whether I'm on par, whether I'm hitting a nerve, whether I got my thumb on the pulse beat. So, of course, like John said, my name's Douglas Orr. I'm running for sheriff, and I am 48 years old. And I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a grandfather, a lovely 3-year-old grandchild. She's sweet. And I've been in law enforcement almost 30 years now, 5 of it on the East Coast, and 5 with the Idaho State Police, and now almost 20 with the Spokane Police Department. Along the way, I have taken advantage of some educational opportunity, went back to grad school, got a master's degree in organizational leadership from Gonzaga University, and I also teach part-time there. MBA with a concentration in human resource from St. Leo University, and a PhD in criminal justice from Washington State University. In fact, I was the first person to obtain that degree from their campus there in Pullman. So, a lot I can bring to the table here. As far as politics goes, I grew up entrenched in politics. And Paul's heard this story, but growing up, Mom and Dad were very involved with Carl McIntyre in Hollywood, New Jersey. I grew up in Philadelphia. And in fact, my first word wasn't Dad, it was Goldwater.
It was what?
It was Goldwater. But Mom and Dad always had, we were very conservative Christians, and Mom and Dad always had us close to the Bible, but also close to what was happening in our country. And I can remember very vividly, Mom and Dad were very involved with the Reagan campaign in '80 and '84. And Dad really didn't care for any of the competition because he wanted to see Reagan get elected. And we lived in Florida for a short period of time during the '80 election. And he would go to all the competition before the primary, and that's how he'd feed the family on Friday nights. We'd go to these things and we ate a lot of hot dogs. Well, we go up to this Bush thing, 41, not 43, George Bush, and I got my hot dog, and big crowd there, and I couldn't see anything, and of course you see the motorcade pull up, and you can't really see anything, and I'm just standing there, all these tall people standing in front of me. I was, I think, 16. All of a sudden the crowd parts, and Paul's heard this story. The crowd parts, and this Secret Service agent pushes me aside, and I'm kind of standing there, standing right there is George Bush. He looks at me and he sticks his hand out, and I grab that thing and I get one pump in, and my dad leans through the crowd and says, "Did you bring anyone from the Trilateral Commission with you?" I stand back, runs off, Dad. So that made an impact on me. So, but I went to school did my bachelor's degree in education, and really wanted to, I was interested in the private school movement. And so I did my student teaching there on the campus in the high school, in the prep school, where I went to school actually, for the prep school. And I gotta tell you, I felt at that time if 9th and 11th graders could treat me that way, I should be able to arrest them. So I went into law enforcement. So I got hired there in Greenville, did 5 years there. Came out here in the Pacific Northwest in '92 and got hired by the state police in Idaho. Did that, found it satisfying but incredibly boring over there. And the Spokane Police Department was hiring and they were soliciting people from Idaho. So I came over in that group in '96 and currently serve in the Spokane Police Department in the sexual assault division right now, major crimes. Very challenging work. I really wouldn't want to, it sounds kind of sick, but I really wouldn't want to do anything else. All my buddies are in robbery homicide. I was telling Bruce that, you know, their cases are easy. They have a dead body, it doesn't lie to them, it has all sorts of evidence. They clear their cases. Mine, I have victims, I have witnesses, I have defense attorneys, I have prosecutors, I have advocates, I have CPS. It is very, very, very challenging, but very, very satisfying. So